Ahoy hoy, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to review local swimming pools, or as they call them here in Sweden, either simhallen, which is swim hall, or badhuset, which is bathhouse. I don't think I'm going to review anything from Maryland, because the thing about swimming pools in Maryland is that most of them where I come from are privately owned, which means you need a membership to get into it. It's not like you can go there for a day and they'll let you in. You need to have a membership in order to get in. So I'm not going to do those swimming pools. I think I'm just going to focus for Sweden today. So if you don't know, I am an avid swimmer. Swimming is my greatest passion. And I figure that I can make a video to review bathhouses or swimming pools. So if you're looking to start swimming, you know where you can try to go swimming. I've been to a lot of places in Jönköping County, Gislaved County, and Borås County. And I've been to one in another county that's in the same province as where I live, which is, I think, Kronoberg County. So to give you guys a heads up, none of these bathhouses are sponsoring this video. I'm doing this purely for fun and to give you all information, especially if you live here in Sweden and you're looking for a place to swim now that it's beginning to get cold outside. Because, yeah, here in Sweden, we start to get fallish weather around late July, early August. So at this point, it becomes too cold to swim in the lakes and most of the outdoor pools. Although I think the outdoor pools are a little bit heated, so you can still swim into it till a certain point. But I know one of them is closing at the end of this month, and I think the other one will at the end of the month too, but we'll see. I will also give links to all these swimming pools you guys can visit. And the pictures that you will see are not mine. They're someone else's, and I will go give credit to those people that took the photos. So, without further ado, the first bathhouse we're going to review is Värnamo Sim Hallen. Now, there is another bathhouse in Värnamo that's next to the hospital, but I have never been to that one before. I've only been to the indoor swimming pool in Värnamo, which is near this park that has historical buildings, that has some animals. I know the name of it, but I'm not sure if I can say it right. It starts with an A. But yeah, it's a nice park that it's next to. And that pool is an indoor pool, while the other one next to the hospital is an outdoor pool. So, yeah. So let me start off with Värnamo. So this is Värnamo Sim Hall, or bathhouse. I am the worst camera person in the world. So Värnamo is the one that I mostly go to a lot. And I have been going to this one a lot for the most part since I moved to this area in 2019. It's a 25-meter pool. There's two little pools for kids. One pool for the little kids has like a lot of stuff in it. It has a tunnel that you can swim through. It has animals. It has a few slides. They're not high. They're just like very small views. They have a lot of waterfall. They have a lot of sprinklers in there. So it's good for kids who are maybe under the age of 5 or who can't reach the bottom of the pool yet. And then there's another little pool that is for like slightly older kids who can touch the bottom but can't exactly swim yet. And then you have the big pool that's 25 meters. And that has a lot of diving boards, including a very high dive. There's also saunas in both the women and men's bathroom. There's a steam room, although it's not working much right now. But, yeah. This is where I had my membership for the most part, since I moved to this area. My problem with it, though, is that, now here's the thing, guys. I'm not bashing any of these bathhouses. It's about what you want as a swimmer. Do you want to swim for fun? Do you want to swim for training or exercising? You know, what pool is good for kids, that kind of thing. So I'm going to be going on those things, and I'm not bashing any bathhouse in particular. I'm just pointing out what you may or may not like, especially what I may not like personally. Now, my issue with this bathhouse is the hours. You can swim there as a member from like 6 to 8 o'clock in the morning. Usually during the weekday. I think they're closed on Saturdays. And then they close for swim school or swim training, because in Sweden it is mandatory for kids to learn how to swim here. It's part of their school curriculum. And so like from 8 to 2, the bathhouse is closed, so it could teach kids how to swim. And then from like 2 to 4, depending what day it is, it varies between the days, but like on some days, like Mondays, Wednesdays, it's like open from 2 to 4:30 or something like that, and then it closes down for more swim training, usually swim team practice, and then it reopens again for members starting at 7 o'clock, and then it closes at 9. So it's very sporadic hours. And the thing is, since I have 2 kids, they get mad at me when I go swimming at night, because then they feel left out. So I can't go swimming during the day like I used to when I lived in the old county, because I usually went swimming when they were in school, because, you know, yeah, it's better for me to go swimming when they're too occupied to do it. And then I would take them swimming later on during the week. Well, I can't do this at this bathhouse. But having said that, I like swimming in the lanes. It's a nice bathhouse to swim in. And then the 2 kid pools are warm. The one in particular that's for people that can touch the bottom but not swim yet, but it's for older children, that has like a jet in it. So that you can turn on that jet and it feels like a little hot tub, but the water's not warm enough to actually be considered a hot tub. But it's nice to go in after you swim a lot of laps so you can relax your legs and stuff, and then take a sauna and usually a steam room after you're done. So it's a very nice place to go to. All of them are nice places to go to. I've never been to a swimming pool that I did not like. So lakes are a different story, but we'll review lakes probably around summertime next year. But for now, we're just reviewing swimming pools. All right. The next one I would like to review is, let's keep to this county or near here. Okay, we do an outdoor bathhouse then. So the next bathhouse I want to review is an outdoor bathhouse called Stadsparkbadet. And I'll give you a picture of that. So this is Stadsparkbadet, and obviously I got this from the Stadsparkbadet website. There we go, that's better. So Stadsparkbadet reminds me, let me fix this bit. I am so sorry, I'm the best camera person in the world. And by the way, if you notice how quiet it is, my kids are in school right now, so. Having said that, let me go back to Stadsparkbadet. Stadsparkbadet reminds me of the swimming pool I used to belong to in Maryland. It's not exactly like BBT exactly, but it has that feel for me. It has that nostalgia. It's an outdoor pool, and it has, as you can see, a slightly higher diving board and then a lower diving board. And there is a slide in the section for kids. There's a place for you to swim laps, and then there's a little pool on the other side that's attached to this pool that is for kids that, you know, can't swim but they can touch the bottom. And there is also another little pool like over here on this side of the bath of the big pool that's for kids who are like babies, or, you know, it has little water in it. And this is a good place to go to during the summertime. I will say that for the most part, a lot of bathhouses in Sweden, at least the ones that I go to, usually close down for like a week or two or even a month. That was another thing about Värnamo. The one in Värnamo closes down for like a month every summer. So you can't go to it. But then you get to go to a bathhouse like Freshida where you can swim when you can't swim at the indoor ones. Because usually when the indoor ones shut down, it's usually because they're doing maintenance and stuff. And because a lot of Swedes prefer to swim outdoors during the summertime. And they'll either go to an outdoor pool like Freshida, or they'll go to a lake to go swimming in. And like the indoor pools are just good for the rest of the year, where it's too cold to swim outside. Because trust me, there's not a lot of time to swim outside here in Sweden during the summertime. The summers are actually fairly short. But anyway, with Freshida, it has a nice nostalgia feeling to it. There's also a volleyball court, and there's also soccer fields nearby. And it's actually near a school, I think. And it also has an outdoor exercise place that you can do stuff at. I think the prices are very good. I forgot to mention what the prices were at Värnamo. For an adult, you can get in for I think at this point, 52 crowns. It was 50 prior to July 1st of this year, but they raised it slightly. It's not a bad raise. It's still good in my opinion. And, of course, you can get a 10-day visit on a bracelet that's good for 2 years. And you can add as much, visits as you want. And then if you don't want to do that, there's a half-year membership and then there's a full-year membership. I don't remember the prices. Again, I'm going to list the prices of all of these places so you can see for yourself. But there was a slight increase in price at Värnamo that began in effect after July of this year. But going back to that, Freshida is 40 crowns. So, for both kids and for adults for the day. And I think a season pass is 440 crowns. So it's $44 if you want to do a complete conversion, from the U.S. So it's a very nice place to go to. It's very kid friendly and stuff. And I would say Värnamo is very kid friendly too, because it has a lot of things for kids to do, as well as adults to train and stuff, or just swim laps and stuff. So that's Freshida. And now I think I'm going to talk about one that's not in this county, like the last two were, but still in the same province that these other bathhouses are in, that I live in. The next one is one I'm actually thinking about getting a membership at. And it's the Gislaved bathhouse, or Gisle Sim Hallen. And I forgot to remark about the Freshida one. It is a 25-meter swimming pool too. Most of the swimming pools you find do have 25 meters. It's very few bathhouses that have a 50-meter swimming pool or an Olympic-sized swimming pool. But Gislaved bathhouse here does have a 50-meter pool, and this is from the website for the Gislaved bathhouse. Now, the reason why I'm considering a membership at this bathhouse rather than Värnamo again is because their hours are a lot better. They're open at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and they close at 6. So, the thing is, if you're working a job, this bathhouse may not be for you because it closes early and stuff. It closes around 6. But if you're like me and you're a stay-at-home mom and stuff, and you want to swim when the kids are in school, this bathhouse is for you. Unless you can get off work early enough to actually go here. I would say this pool though is more for people who are into training. For competitive swimming or for just keeping in shape and stuff. Now here's the thing. I haven't been a competitive swimmer since I was 12. I used to compete for BPT back in Maryland. And, but starting around 16, I began to do laps regularly whenever I went swimming. And then what I discovered what I am exactly is I'm more of an endurance swimmer, which means that I swim for the distance rather than for the speed. So, my challenges would be more like, say, for example, doing the Chesapeake Bay Swim, which is held every July. Now, they used to have a 4 meter, they do have it's a 4 mile swim near the Chesapeake Bay, but they started doing a mild swim this year. So next year, if I'm going back to the States, I might be doing that. But anyway, where was I going with that? So that kind of thing tests out your endurance more than your speed. So that's something that kind of like allures me a lot. And more insanely, that I'm probably never going to try, even though I'm kind of tempted to try it, it's almost like trying to swim across the English Channel, that kind of thing. So I'm more into endurance than in speed. Since I swim a lot of laps, I swim like 2,000 meters, which is 1.2 miles every time I go swimming. Or in kilometers per se, it's like 2 kilometers at least. So I'm into swimming for endurance. So like something like this bathhouse here in Gislaved is up my alley because it helps me train. It helps me train distance and stuff. Because I can go the distance, but it takes me like over an hour to do it. And it does have a little pool for people that can't swim exactly. It's for you can go in and touch the ground, but it's not really a big major kid pool. There's no baby pools that I saw. Although I didn't exactly explore a lot when I visited there like a week or two ago. But it's kind of like how Sim Arena is in Borås County, which I'll get to eventually. So it's not really geared towards kids, but what I like about it that I haven't seen at the other bathhouses that I've been to is that it has life jackets for kids. It has, even for babies, they have these little flotation devices that you can put a baby in to float them in, which I think is awesome. And especially if you have like an older child that's like a little nervous about swimming, like my daughter is, having a life jacket on her when she's trying to swim is good because like since they don't have those at the other bathhouses, it's kind of hard to get her to be motivated to try to work on her swimming, which she really needs to because that's part of their curriculum here in Sweden. And I know she would be okay with it because when we went to a water park in Chesapeake Beach last year, they had these life jacket things for kids too. And of course, it took me a long time to get my daughter to get in one. But when she did, she started trying to swim a lot. So it gave her the confidence and it just made her feel safe to do that. So that's a major thing I like about Gislaved bathhouse is they have those for kids and they even have the flotation devices for the babies. But it's not exactly a kid-friendly bathhouse, I would say. It's more geared towards people who are into competitive swimming or, you know, who are trying to work out a lot and stuff like that. Now, what I also like about this bathhouse in Gislaved is that, and I never seen this at the other bathhouses that I've been to, or let alone any swimming pool I've ever been to, including the U.S., is they literally have markers on the side of the pool of how many meters you've gone, which is awesome. So they'll tell you when you've been at 25 meters, and then they'll tell you when you've been at 50 meters. And then there's also other meters in between, like 15 meters, 10 meters, 45 meters. I love that a lot because it helps you keep track of how much you can swim. And this is especially good for beginners because you can start pushing yourself to see how far you can swim. So if you're new to swimming or you want to try to get into the habit of swimming more, but you don't have the stamina, you can actually use this bathhouse here to check your progress. maybe 1 week you only do 10 meters, and then the next week you do 15 meters. It helps you keep track of how much you can do and stuff like that. So I like that a lot about this bathhouse. Having said that, other than that being really kid-friendly in my opinion, minus that they have life jackets and like little flotation device for babies that I've never seen at the other bathhouses before. Kids under 18, I don't think can use the sauna, or if they can, they have to be with an adult. Now, that's the first kind of thing I've seen in Sweden. Now, this is something that's common in the U.S. that you see, kids are not typically supposed to use the sauna until they're like 18 years old. But here in Sweden, it's a little bit different. Kids are allowed to use saunas typically, as well as hot tubs. But I think the difference is here, the hot tubs shut off after a certain point, so you can't overdo it in a hot tub. Plus, the hot tubs here are not hot like they are in the U.S. It's more like being in a lukewarm bath, I would say. But yeah. And the saunas are usually, in my opinion, not that warm to the point where it would, like, overwhelm a kid. But this is actually, Gislaved is actually the first bathhouse where I ever saw something saying, you shouldn't use the sauna if you're under 18. So that's something that could be bad for the kids, too, because if kids want to use the sauna, they can't use it at this bathhouse. But they can use it at the other bathhouses. So I think that's all I got to say about Gislaved for now. And at the moment, they are cheaper than Värnamo, which is another little plus. For adult entry, it's 50 crowns at least, which is like $5. And at least a 10-day membership is like $4.50. At Värnamo right now, it's like $4.62 or something like that. So, but I think both are worth it. So give it a try and stuff. Alright, next bathhouse I'm going to review is one in this province, but not in this county or in Gislaved. It's in another county. It's in Kronoberg County, I think. So let me pull that up. And this picture is from Actic. It's ACTIC, just to let you guys know. So this is the bathhouse in, let me see how bad I botched this, Växjö. It's spelled V-A with the 2 dots, X-J-O with the 2 dots. And as I said, this photo is from Actic, or A-C-T-I-C. So Växjö is actually kind of similar in a way to, I'm going to get to it in a bit, but it's similar to Stadsparkbadet and Borås. It's like a water park, as well as it has a swimming pool for you to do laps in. This place, though, actually has like a little bit more slides than Stadsparkbadet does in Borås. There's 2 big slides, and one goes very fast. The other one goes a little bit slower. You have to be a certain height to be on there. I forgot what it is, but my son's big enough to go on there now. And then you have other slides that are a little bit more shorter that you can use. There's also a tunnel that you can go under that ends up in a waterfall. And then what's so cool, too, is that you can actually swim to this area outside the bathhouse. And it's really weird because the water's nice and warm, but if you, like, raise yourself out of the water a bit, especially if it's like in a month that's cold. It's really cold, but it's oddly refreshing. That's the thing, it's oddly refreshing. So the water is warm enough where the air doesn't affect it, and you can still be in the water, but like just be careful not to get your body too much out in the open air, because otherwise it's really cold. But it's oddly refreshing. And they have other places that you can swim around, some areas that kids that can't exactly swim, but can touch the bottom can be there. And it's almost like a little maze in a way. But on the other side, there's also a pool that you can swim laps in. It's 25 meters. And then there's 3 little pools right outside the lap pool, I would say, that is for little kids. That the water is nice and short. There's a lot of things to do, like, being on the slides. There's like little flotation devices and stuff. So it's very nice, and it's also cheap. But I forgot what the price is. But it's in a different county, in a different province. That's like at least, I would say, an hour away from where I live right now. But I love it. It's like a little water park, and it reminds me of Stadsparkbadet a lot. So it was really great. It's a nice place to go there if you wanted to swim laps, as well as take the kids to go swimming, because it's very kid-friendly and stuff. So, yeah, that is the bathhouse in Växjö, if I said that correctly. So I think since I reviewed that one, we're going to go to a county I used to live in. I lived in Borås County for the first 12 years I lived in Sweden. And the bathhouse I went to a lot until it closed down to be renovated was Stadsparkbadet. And this is the one that reminds me of the bathhouse I just reviewed. So I'll give you a quick picture of what Stadsparkbadet looks like. Now this place, you can just see the lane pool. This is just the lane pool at Stadsparkbadet. But they do have a water slide and a wave pool. I had to pause that so I can go back. They also have like an area for kids to stand up in if they're like babies, and then there's like another pool for kids to touch the bottom and learn how to swim and stuff. And actually, that pool has a floor that rises and does this basically. I used to go in that pool when I did water aerobics when I was pregnant with the kids, mostly with Alex. I don't think I did that when I was pregnant with Tess. And this Stadsparkbadet, like I said, is like a lot like Växjö bathhouse, except that it only has one water slide, the one wave pool. Parts of it has places for little babies to swim at, and also little kids. There is a high dive, there's a diving board, there's a rock wall you can climb, and I think it's over the wave pool, or it's in the pool that has the diving board and the high dive. They do have at least before I left. Now, here's the thing. Here's a quick disclaimer. I've not been at Stadsparkbadet since it got renovated. So I haven't been there since 2017. But, they just, revamped the place and stuff. So they still have a lane pool for you to swim laps. It's 25 meters. They do have water aerobics at times. I mean, all the bathhouses do, but, they have water aerobics as well, even when you're not pregnant, which I did after I had the kids. And they have a steam room, but kids cannot go in the steam room. They have a very cold water that you can go into after you go into the steam room. And they have saunas and stuff. They have a dry sauna, a wet sauna. And so it's a very nice place to go to. It's definitely kid-friendly, and it's a good place to go to if you want to swim laps. But I prefer actually to go to places like Sim Arena, which I'll talk about next. And Sim Arena is a lot like Gislaved, where it's a 50-meter pool. It's an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So that's good if you want to just train, because then most people don't get in your way. You don't have any kids getting in your way, because it's geared towards training. But, I liked swimming laps when I did at Stadsparkbadet, because I was a member there for a long time. I used to get year memberships whenever I went there. So I enjoyed swimming there. So it's very kid-friendly. So if you're in Borås and stuff, this is a good place to visit. The downside is, the hours are good, but the downside is the prices, because given the renovation as well as they had to shut down a lot during COVID. And so they're a little bit behind. So their price right now for an adult to enter is 120 crowns. And I think a kid is 70. So yeah, their prices have gone up, but keep in mind it's because of the renovation. They're trying to catch up from being closed due to the renovation, not to mention being closed because of the pandemic. So, yeah. The next bathhouse will take me to Sim Arena, which I remarked about. So this is Sim Arena. I don't know if you can see it well. So Sim Arena, as I said, is like Gislaved bathhouse, where it's 50 meters. So it's a little big size swimming pool. And it has a little pool for people to be in that can touch the bottom, but they can't swim yet. Downstairs, this place, like Gislaved, doesn't really have a pool for little kids. So if you have a baby or a toddler or anything, this pool might be hard for them to swim in because they can't touch the bottom. I'm sure, I didn't see it, but I'm sure they have flotation devices for kids to wear if they're trying to learn how to swim. Now, other than having lanes to swim in, they also have a few exercise bikes in the water to train on as well. And there's an area where you can literally do some walking in. So, but it's primarily like a place to train at and stuff, or learn how to swim, or be a competitive swimmer. This is, they use this pool when Sweden has its national swim competition. They use this pool for people to train in before they go outside to the pool next door to do the competition, to do the national competition. So yeah. So that'll lead me to the next bathhouse to talk about. Now, before I get to that one, this is slightly less expensive than Stadsparkbadet. This is also in, I forgot to say it, but this is also in Borås County. And this was also on Borås's website and stuff, the picture was. For an adult to get in, it's 100 crowns at the moment. So, still a little bit pricey, but it's not as pricey as Stadsparkbadet. But this place is more geared towards, in my opinion, training and competitive swimming and learning how to swim and stuff. So it's not exactly a kid-friendly place in the sense that you can't take your little babies there to swim because they wouldn't be able to touch the bottom, especially if you have a toddler. That was an issue my daughter had when we still lived in the area. So that's why she would go to Stadsparkbadet or the other bathhouse that I'm going to talk about in a bit. But yeah, that's Sim Arena. And I think that should lead me to talk about the bathhouse that's next door to Sim Arena, which is an outdoor bathhouse or outdoor swimming pool. And let's see how badly I botched the name. As I said, all these will come with links so you can look up information yourself. And again, they're not sponsoring this video, although I wish they would. So this is Alidebergsbadet. It's the outdoor bathhouse next to Sim Arena. So Sim Arena is like right there. So it has a slide, has a high dive, has a few diving boards. I don't remember if this is a 25-meter pool or if it's 50 meters. I think it's 25. And this is a separate bathhouse compared to Borås Sim Arena, so you have to pay a different fee to get in here. And unfortunately, I don't know what that is, so you have to look up the website. Now, this photo is from Borås Camping. So I mostly went to this bathhouse with the kids to go swimming in. There is a little pool off camera that little kids can go to, like babies and toddlers. And there's a slide in the middle of the pool that they can use. Now, if you remember, there's a smaller pool on this side of the picture that I just showed you, and that is shallow water. And then you have the lanes for lane swimming. Now, I never actually swam laps in this pool. I mostly just gone in it briefly, as well as mostly being in the kid pool. So it is a little bit more kid friendly compared to Sim Arena. But just keep in mind, it has different prices than Sim Arena. But this is the pool that the national swimming competition in Sweden meets at. So, yeah. The last bathhouse I'm going to talk about is Sandaredsbadet. And I got this from Borås site. So this bathhouse is also in Borås County, or it's close to Borås County. It's not too far away from Virid. And as a 25-meter pool, and then there's a smaller pool that you saw that is for kids to swim in, and they can stand up in the water and stuff. There's a little octopus shooting water, and then there's also there's a section of that pool that becomes bubbly if you hit the button, because the water is slightly warm, but it doesn't have a hot tub. I think Stadsparkbadet is the only bathhouse I've come across that actually does have hot tubs, whereas the others don't really have it. Their kid pools are usually warmed up to feel like a hot tub that's not that hot like a hot tub would be. This is a nice place to go to if you have children, and it's a nice place to go swim laps at. I swam laps there a few times when, say, Stadsparkbadet was closed during maintenance or whatnot. And I think I went there once Stadsparkbadet closed down. I don't know what the prices are because I haven't been to this place in a long time. But again, I'll provide a website. So this is a nice place to go to for kids. And I remember there being a sauna and stuff. So, yeah. So, I think that's all today for my review of the bathhouses or the swim halls or the swimming pools in my area. So this is great information to have if you're a Swede and you just moved to either of these areas and you're looking for a place to swim, or you're looking for a place to swim now that it's getting too cold to swim outside. And even if you're from a different country like America or the UK and you're looking for a place to swim, if you visit any of these areas in Sweden, you kind of have an idea where to go to now. I don't know about the other places in, like, say, Stockholm or Malmo or Gothenburg, but if you're going to any of these areas that I mentioned, you kind of have an idea where to go to now. Well, y'all, if you like this video, smash the like button. If you subscribe, I'll be absolutely delighted, and I'll see you all later. Toodles.